In 1966, something very strange happened in Brazil. Two men were found dead, lying side by side on top of a hill, dressed in formal suits and surrounded by weird, mysterious objects, two lead masks and a cryptic note. There were no signs of violence and no clear cause of death, although the bodies showed high levels of radiation. This is the Unsolved lead masks case, and today we're going to talk about it. Okay, so what really happened back then in Brazil? Was it really all that mysterious and unexplainable, or was the weirdness just blown out of proportion by the media? Well, I will admit, I'm a pretty skeptical guy, but even on my personal mystery meter, this story leans much more towards the side of weird as heck. So come join me as we uncover this story step by step, letting you judge all the weirdness for yourself. The protagonists of this story are two electronic technicians, Manuel Pereira da Cruz and Miguel José Viana. On August 17, they told their families they were heading out to purchase materials for work. They boarded a bus from Campos dos Goitacazes to Niterói, arriving at their destinations around 14:30 or 2:30 p.m. for my friends in America. In Niterói, they made a couple of purchases. Specifically, they bought waterproof coats and mineral water at a local bar. The waitress noted that Miguel seemed very nervous, constantly checking his watch. This was the last time they were seen alive. And this is also the moment in the story when all the weirdness begins to unravel. It's unknown what Manuel and Miguel were doing over the next 3 days, but whatever it was, it led them to end up in incredibly strange and fatal circumstances. The story takes us to Vintem Hill in Niterói, where a young boy is enjoying himself flying a kite. Unfortunately, his fun is about to be cut short by a disturbing discovery: the bodies of Manuel and Miguel. The boy alerted the authorities, who tried to respond but were hindered by the hill's difficult terrain. A small group of police and firefighters eventually reached the bodies, but only the following day, on August 21st. When officials finally reached the site, they were met with an incredibly weird, hard-to-explain scene. Manuel and Miguel were lying next to each other, partly covered with grass. They wore formal suits, the waterproof coats they had bought a few days earlier, and, strangely enough, homemade lead eye masks. And that's not all. Nearby lay an empty water bottle, 2 wet towels wrapped in a packet, and probably the most mysterious detail of this whole scene, a small notebook containing cryptic instructions, the meaning of which remains unclear to this very day. Inside the note was written 16:30, be at the specified location, 18:30, ingest capsules after the effect, protect metals, await signal, mask. I nearly had a stroke trying to read this right now, and I have zero clue what it could possibly mean. To me, it sounds like a game design idea for a tower defense game that was written in a rush. But one thing I'm sure of, it's incredibly cryptic, and not gonna lie, it makes me think about UFOs and aliens. Were Manuel and Miguel trying to contact extraterrestrial beings? Well, considering what was discovered next in this bizarre case, I would not be surprised. When officials examined the site, they realized the bodies showed no visible signs of violence or struggle. However, further analysis indicated unusually high levels of radiation in the men's bodies, even though no traces of radiation were found at the location itself. The lead masks also suggested they were preparing to deal with radioactive substances. But if the site showed no radiation, then where did it come from? It was UFO, cosmic rays from space. Okay, I don't really think this case is UFO related. Or do I? Well, all can I say is that this story still hides reports that remain incredibly mysterious. Locals near the site reported strange phenomena in the sky they allegedly witnessed right around the time leading up to the incident. These accounts included bright lights of explosions in the sky, flying objects of unusual shapes or behaviors, sometimes described as disc-like or spherical, moving in ways that did not match conventional aircraft, and sounds associated with these sightings, some described a low humming or whooshing. And okay, the tricky part is that there's no solid verification of these sightings. They were mostly anecdotal and reported after the deaths became public. In some retellings, the events were linked to the idea that the men were attempting some kind of experiment or even ritual, possibly involving contact with otherworldly phenomena. And even though I really want to believe in the most incredible theories there are, I should remain objective. While some theorists connect these sightings with electromagnetic experiments or even early UFO phenomena, others suggest they could have been misperceptions caused by nearby industrial activity, atmospheric phenomena, or even local fireworks, which were fairly common, by the way. In any case, no matter what exactly took place on that hill back on August 17, 1966, one thing I know for certain: this story will keep curious minds searching for answers for many years to come. I'm Dennis, reporting from the Watchtower. Thanks for watching, and remember, always stay on the lookout. Until next time.